NCC Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher joins us now here on the Cardinal Report. Clark, thanks for coming by.
Good to be here.
Sometimes in track and field, in between indoor and outdoor seasons, there's a little bit of a lull. You're coming off a spring break, you got a little bit of time off, but in the distance events over the weekend, Amanda Lesh and Michael Spain had really anything but a lull at the First Chance Invitational.
Yeah, they both came through with automatic qualifiers for the championships. Amanda broke the school record by about 25 seconds in the 10,000, and Mike is now the second fastest all time and has the fastest time in the country this year. So the fact that both of those individuals were running largely by themselves for a race that lasts over 6 miles, pretty impressive. They were able to put together personal best performances on both sides by a significant margin first time out.
So I'd imagine looking forward, they're looking to maybe decrease on that time, especially once they get to nationals.
That would be when it would have to happen. Most likely, since they have automatic marks now, they probably won't run it again until conference, and that would be just to get the points for it. They wouldn't necessarily be focusing on time.
Okay.
So if they're going to improve on that time, it would have to be at the national championships, I would think.
And looking at the teams as a whole, both put out some great efforts, really obliterating all competition on both the men's and women's side at First Chance meet.
Yeah, it's something we've come to expect at this meet, and certainly some of the athletes were maybe limited a little bit in what they were doing, maybe running outside their own specialties. Dan Benton with a personal best in the 400 to qualify for nationals was certainly a highlight. And Sheila Walsh on the women's side in the 400 as well. So certainly a good place to start from. Long time between now and the conference meet in May, so they've got plenty of work to do in the next few weeks.
And Cardinal baseball opened up conference play 4-1 after taking on North Park and Milliken. Not too shabby at all.
Yeah, North Park is a very tough opponent in baseball. They've been good for several years now. Very good pitching, and Cardinals were able to put up a lot of runs against them, which was good to see. Swept a doubleheader against Milliken on Tuesday. Milliken's one of those teams that's kind of having a tough couple of years here at baseball. So a good chance to get healthy a little bit on the scoreboard. So definitely on track to get back to the top where they were last year. They got a big series coming up this weekend against Carthage, which also made the NCAA tournament last season. 2 games at Carthage and 1 game here, so definitely a challenge as they try to stay on top of the conference standings.
You beat me to it a little bit there, that big series. The bats have really come alive the last 5-6 games or so. Obviously something I'd imagine Coach Fitzgerald wants to keep going into that big series.
Well, we'll see how well it holds up. Carthage is on about a 9-game winning streak right now, and they're the only team that's still unbeaten in conference play, so certainly going to need some offensive firepower to get something done in that series.
To the links, Ty Thompson's women's golf team continues to get back into playing shape, looking to possibly get an at-large bid of that national championships, turning a great effort down in Jacksonville over the weekend. Yeah,
a tough weekend to play golf. They were on a course that still had a lot of moisture on it, and on Sunday a pretty significant wind came into play as well. So the scores weren't quite what we're used to seeing from several of them. The top players, tended, the abs they make adjustments and still are able to go pretty low. Alyssa Gaudio certainly representative of that, finishing 3rd overall. So a good test for them mentally to adjust to adverse conditions, which may come into play later in the spring.
And the men's tennis team, a couple of regionally ranked opponents over the weekend coming into Naperville, and they also went on the road as well. Sam Sweeney coming back for his first action this spring. He goes unscathed, but the team not so fortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's been kind of the story of the last couple of years. There aren't really too many tennis players at this level that work harder in the offseason than Sam does, so certainly he didn't have any rust on his game as he came back. So he's certainly looking good in terms of an individual berth to the national championships again. Still waiting on some other younger guys to step up to some of the other positions and do some things at the team level.
And kind of looking at the other side of things, the women's lacrosse team, big conference victory at home over the weekend, pretty large margin.
Yeah, 20-3 over a first-year program in Olivet. Set a school record for single game assists. It always helps if you can win and improve. So they've really been working on ball movement on the offensive side, and that certainly showed in what they were able to do on Sunday. A big game for them coming up Wednesday evening against Carthage College. Played them twice last year. Both teams were very, very close. And this year it's a conference game as well. So a lot on the line Wednesday night.
Definitely. Well, Clark, we appreciate you giving us some insight.
Thank you.
As we close the book on this episode of the Cardinal Report, we'd like to thank you for pulling up a chair. Tune in next time when Coach Mike Patrick and the Cardinal men's tennis team come on set to discuss their season so far. I'm Alex Simmons. We hope you join us.